Holy crap. Silver and gold are going absolutely nuts. Silver specifically hitting 114.50 right now as we go live. Welcome back. There are charts moving everywhere, and today is a spicy day. There is the backtone of the dollar dropping, dumping, selling off across the board, likely fueling this rally, but that chart giving us some signals, some maybe secret short-term signs and suggestions on where price action is going for these metals. Bitcoin and crypto, not a lot of update there. They're pretty much where they were. Of course, we'll check in with Bitcoin. We'll give the macro forecast, what we're looking for. But man, silver, I just can't stop looking at silver right now. Cheers to anybody who has some silver. We talked about locking in profits on the last stream. Always good to take something off the table. That is still true. If you locked something in on Friday at 100 and change, don't feel bad about it. Don't be tempted to jump back in trying to catch the ride to the inevitable blow off top. Live with your decisions. And like we say every single time we talk about taking profit, try to do it in pieces, not all in, not all out. That way you don't get yourself in a bad position where you're chasing price. But man, what are we up already? Into this open, silver is up. This is a 12-hour. We're not even on the day, and it's 5%. 11% into this new week. When does it stop? We have an idea. We have a poll going in the chat. I appreciate it if you tickle those buttons. Put in your opinion. What you think will happen to silver into this year? How high can it go? Make sure you've liked and subscribed. Please engage with the live stream. Help us get out there. The algorithm is brutal right now for crypto and trading in general. So keep the chat active here. We are on a pump watch. Silver literally hitting 115 like right now during the live. This is awesome. This is awesome. It reminds me of crypto every cycle except for the most recent one. I don't know, man. Where things go up and they just keep going. And they're basically playing a game of chicken. Who can hold on the longest? Silver has seen virtually no real pullbacks yet. We had in this year, none. In December, a slight pullback into the end of the year from 83 down to 70. I'm not sure if I can constitute that as a first bear trap quite yet. I think that is still ahead of us. Likely, maybe even this week. We'll see. Reminder, we have the FOMC on Wednesday, and Trapal loves to come in like a wrecking ball and mix up the markets. So whatever positions you're eyeing for this week, remember we have that critical pivot right in the middle of the month. For the FOMC, of course, we're going to stream it live. You'll be there. We'll all be here. It'll be a great time. Expectations relatively low for that. After we've had consecutive cuts into the end of the year, the Fed is not likely looking to cut in January, but that's also not a surprise to the market. The market is not expecting a cut in the way that it has been on the last FOMC. So maybe more of a nothing burger than usual, but it is the first of 2026, so it's going to be the biggest of the year, at least until the next one comes. Let's jump into silver here. This is a phenomenal chart. Absolutely phenomenal. $100 is now officially cleared. Pretty much no matter how you look at it. The week closed above, and we're seeing this price expansion, this discovery, continue to the upside. My expectation for this week, especially with the way price has been acting this morning, is that we will get a full test of 122. 122 was the greater, zoomed out macro target from our 2011 into 2020 swing. From our high all the way down to our low, our 1618 target sat right here at 122. We talked about 100 on the last stream as a psychological number. Obviously, still a good target, still a great profit-taking number for anyone who's gotten in, I don't know, anywhere before a week ago, something like that. But 122 was really the top of that target. We talked about this as a zone. If you did take profits at 100 or you're planning at 122, depending on the position, obviously going to be different for everybody, especially leverage, I would look to lock in a little more at 122 and then basically clear my orders. When charts behave this way in crypto, we have experienced this. We know this. This is our bread and butter. You can get some very silly movements in price. My expectation is potentially 122, let's say even before the FOMC. This is where price is going to decide if it's going to make that first bear trap or not. If it does, I think it likely will trade back to 100, where it will find support and continue upwards. We're getting farther out. This is getting more impossible to know, but this is basically what I expect just watching charts all the time that are moving like this. And then I think silver into the end of the year, we'll see what's said at the FOMC. We'll see how this plays out. We'll likely head into the 245 range. So the way that I would play this, I really wish my Bitcoin was made of silver right now. Feeling pretty bummed about that. Sitting on the sidelines of a rally. Mad because sidelined. The way I look at it is simplifying this chart. Looking to take profit in this range and then basically ignoring price action above it. From 122 almost all the way to 200, I think can largely be skipped. And the next prices look to attack up here. This 112 to 245 range. If this is achieved with no pullback, maybe Powell comes on stage during the FOMC and says, we are ditching the dollar and now we're just going to operate on the silver standard. And we see silver fly to 245 with no pullback. This is where I think things would get a little sketchy in the terms of continuation. It's already overextended, but markets can do this. We've seen them stay overextended for long periods of time. But for all the attention, and I'll even admit euphoria that I see running around, it's weird to be on the other side here, another doubling is likely going to lead to a stronger or longer pullback than just a tap of 122, a quick trip into bear called the top market, and then one more punishment to the upside. I think this would be the cleaner, healthier, longer, more stable way to climb up to those numbers. I hear a lot of people, mostly on Twitter, and when I say people, I don't know, man, the same NPCs who were saying Bitcoin to a jillion like tomorrow, they're back, and now they're talking about silver. We really all are the same people, aren't we? We're all doing the same things. A lot of people talking about 500 or 1,000 or Lord knows 5 jillion. The numbers just keep going. These are basically the only things we can look to at this point if we do see continuation into the end of the year past like 250. We just start laying out these psychological numbers and looking upward. I think it is a hard stretch to imagine silver at 1,000 like this year. That would be a 10x from now. Something tells me that bags have been a little too packed to see a 10x. Sorry, guys. But certainly higher numbers are possible in the future here. And we have some hints as to maybe why or when silver could hit these numbers and pull back. This is going to bring us to the next chart. The dollar. We haven't looked at the dollar much. The dollar has largely underperformed and maybe even been correlated with Bitcoin in the sense of it's just been moving sideways, not really breaking ranges, not moving highs, not moving lows, just sideways. The dollar has been in this 100 to 96 range for almost a year. Maybe you could honestly just say a whole year since 2025 started. It has not been a very interesting chart, but today of all days, it actually is a little interesting, or I'll even say it's spicy. Regardless of the mechanism of the dollar selling off, which is, I mean, let's be real, there's other currencies are doing well. Europe is questioning their ties with the US, I don't know, in all different ways, dumping bonds. It doesn't really matter how we got here, but the dollar is now at a trend line that we have been waiting for it to test for a long time, I guess since September. This trend line is from our low in September all the way back to 2021's high, or 2020's high. It extends out. It's been on this chart for, I don't know, since September. And today, right now, during this nice euphoric little pump on metals, the dollar is traded down and basically tagged that trend line. On a test of this trend line, which may have already happened, but if potentially we see it happen today fully, I would expect some kind of bounce. This is a pretty steep drop, the same way that, well, metals have been rallying all in one direction very inefficiently. The dollar has dumped the last 2-3 days pretty inefficiently as well. And what we may see, and what I'm basically watching for as a signal, is reversal in this week. Maybe this happens on Wednesday during the FOMC. The dollar regains some of its lost ground over the weekend, we're not talking about moon here, but maybe back to 98, 99, before looking to put in a lower high. Continuing the downtrend, remaining bearish in my opinion, but looking like it wants to signal a bounce, or I guess a reversal. Short-term reversal in what we're seeing during the market trends right now. I think that this is logical. I think the dollar has lower to go into this year after dumping all throughout, I don't know why I said the end of 25 here, dumping all throughout 2025. Wild that the dollar did that in 2025, yet Bitcoin did nothing. And then remaining sideways for almost an entire year. I view this as distribution, and I think that the dollar, whatever path it takes, whether we see more bounces or not, is looking to trade down under 90 into the end of the year. I think you have all-time high, distribution, sell-off, distribution, sell-off to support. And I guess we'll see what happens there, right? But the timing of the FOMC this week with the dollar at trend line support, I think is the argument that we're looking to see a short-term pullback or change in the trends we've seen across markets. This lines up to me. It adds up. If the FOMC gives us a curveball, which it usually doesn't, maybe we see something else mix up. But I think this is the logical path at the moment for these macro markets. Gold is also having a spectacular run, not the same as silver's. It has tagged 5,100, putting on 2% maybe today, 2%. 2% gain today. Certainly nothing to laugh at. A 2% gain in 24 hours is wonderful. Tomahawk missiles need silver. Pump it, baby. 2% a day is crazy. I can't believe we're talking about gold and silver. I keep feeling like we're talking about Bitcoin. But 2% a day is crazy, but it is overshadowed by silver. Now, gold has already blasted past all of the targets that I had. 5,000 was really kind of the end of the line when it comes to the analysis we typically do in price discovery. Using our fib tools, looking upwards, we've blasted pretty much every extension. We've hit every measured move target, and analysis gets a little cramped. There isn't much to go on until gold has some kind of meaningful pullback. This is, again, when I talk about these reversals, maybe on silver and gold, they are right now in my mind temporary. What they would be looking to do is basically flush late positions, punish late longers, remove leverage. But really, from a chart perspective, let's say it looks like this, what they're doing is gearing up for that next leg, giving us that ability to use the Fibonacci tool again to get higher extension targets. We are out of them. Without a pullback, we can just like start adding numbers to our fib. We can just put the 3, the 4. I think that that's, maybe better than doing nothing, right? Than not having anything. But we are really, really in the sky when it comes to gold. So what else can we look at? We can, of course, again, fall back to the psychological numbers, 7,500, 10,000. But we can actually do something else. And this is kind of an interesting thought that I had today, was that really all markets are the same. I'm learning this in real time. We've been on YouTube Live 7 years trading. Metals have never done jack shit. And in my mind, having started in Bitcoin and crypto, I separated markets thinking that crypto, for whatever reason, kind of behaves one way and other markets don't behave that way. Like gold is slow. It's not volatile. Stocks are kind of a midpoint between crypto and gold. They're a little more volatile, a little faster, but not quite the crazy 90% retracement, 500% gains that we have in crypto. This is showing me that it's really all the same, under the same conditions, with the same, energy, drivers, and really chart setups. All of these markets behave the same way, I guess. Maybe it was never just a crypto thing, because gold broke out of all of its trend lines and went parabolic, and literally no one would have ever saw that coming like 5 years ago. And in that spirit of all markets being similar, we can carry over some of our skills that crypto has taught us. And basically, I say this as like the Bitcoin pairs. While gold has nothing above it, we can look at gold's ratio to silver and maybe gauge what kind of price action that we can expect in the short term, or even in mid-term, long-term, better than just looking at a chart that is going straight up, right? When all the candles are the same color, your chart isn't really going to help you. It's just going up or going down, and it's going to reverse largely randomly. And so it is valuable to find, we'll call ratios or comparison charts, pairs that can maybe give you a little more information. Gold versus silver is really interesting. Silver has been blowing up, and it's interesting too that this didn't start actually this year. This is the yearly chart. So in 2026, it's done a 26% sell-off, 27%, which means silver has gained 27% over gold, but this actually started last year. In January of 25 to the yearly close, silver gained 33% against gold. It did it largely silently, and it did it at the end of the year. This was definitely backloaded on the yearly closes. But looking at this chart, we can maybe get some kind of clues that we wouldn't get just looking at silver USD or gold USD. And my eye is drawn here. One, this is a crazy, crazy crash. Month over month, we're seeing like 26% closes down. The eye is immediately drawn to May 2011. I don't know what happened there. Financial crisis, 2011. Where silver hit its highest valuation against gold and reversed into an all-time high. Kind of an interesting setup here. One would expect that this was just going to continue on, that this chart was in an uptrend, but it did not. Something happened here in June of 25 where our lows were nuked, and silver is looking potentially to break that low in May. So that percent, let's say percent, that change to move back to support from where it is now, it's about a 32% move, 31% move. That's pretty wild. What we can do with this, and this is kind of hocus pocus TA, it's not really hocus pocus TA, kind of, is we can take this 31% and we can extrapolate out some conclusions. We can say that if gold remains at 5,000, which alone is a weird bet, that it's not going to go up or down, but we'll just stick with it to make it easy. If gold stays at 5,000, silver can move what to make that ratio come back into alignment? The answer is a 33% move to the upside, which lands us at about 150. Interesting. 150 is a number that wasn't on my chart because there was no real way to achieve it other than a psychological number. But 150 would be the logical upside there, just looking at that ratio if gold does nothing. And again, if silver's moving to 150, gold's probably moving also. I think that might line up better here. That might make more sense up in that 245 range. It's another 50%. Okay, here's what could theoretically happen according to these pairs. 7,500 could be hit on gold. Silver can make the 30% gain against gold in that time, and that would put it right here, like 250. That's kind of crazy. But we wouldn't really get these numbers elsewise. So that is why I think it's a valuable tool to keep in our pockets. This chart is surprisingly void of supports. It seemingly like just ignored everything on the way down here. And so I think that is the move. I think the move is to look for 30.1 in the gold to silver ratio, which basically means it takes 44 ounces of silver, because we're at 44 on our chart here, to buy 1 of gold. It's 44 to 1. Maybe people will finally learn pairs because of gold and silver. It is easier to imagine than gold, I don't know, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever. Maybe. This thing is just so dumped. It's actually wild. I don't think there's any trend lines that are even available on the month for this because this is so down. Let's see. It might be interacting with it here. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's this trend line sitting right here. This is pretty much it though. It's like you have this trend line and then May of 2011's low. Maybe this lines up with like the FOMC, like the FOMC this week. It could. Low green candle before the red. We're going to check back up on our Bitcoin pairs. Bitcoin gold, Bitcoin silver, SPX, platinum, oil. But we actually have some other cool stuff to look at today. Natural gas. I haven't heard anyone talk about this one. Nat gas is literally breaking out right now alongside silver and gold for some reason. Nat gas is at 538. Maybe it has something to do with the winter weather, the polar vortex. I don't know how sensitive nat gas is to weather and things like that. But it is breaking out in this moment. It is traded to a 3-year high. I haven't looked at this chart much. I pulled it up after noticing it on investing.com. Let's see, month like that. Cool. Targeting 650. Past 618. Nice order block here on the month. Resistance between 594 and 650. I'm not sure how I feel about jumping on a long, trying to eke that out on nat gas, but I could see a short from the zone played. Maybe just taking it back down to 470. I wonder how this impacts. I don't know that much about natural gas. Let's go to uranium. The reason I wanted to look at uranium even more than gold and silver is uranium, unlike gold and silver, has these extensions still. We have local price action where we see swing highs into swing lows, and that can give us these Fibonacci extension targets. Beautiful. Today, I already tweeted about this. Today, uranium hit 7,723. A perfect touch. It has sold off. It's now trading basically back where it opened Friday. I don't know if I expect this to sell off quite yet. But when we reach these extensions, we typically look for 2 types of price action. Very consistently, charts in price discovery behave this way. When you have a high and a low and you break your high, you typically move to the 1618, which is where we are in uranium. Right here today, we touched it. And you look for a back test of that previous all-time high. For uranium, that'd be 6,300. And you look on the back test, you look for the long position to continue riding it up in the trend if you expect this chart to remain bullish. When charts are bonkers bullish, like we saw on silver and gold, a lot of the time they will move just directly up to their measure move targets, ignoring the 1618 altogether. Then pulling back, missing the previous resistance test, and move higher. Very reliably, charts move in these 2 ways. Very consistently in price discovery. That makes it a decent trade to always look to open a calculated short at 1618 extensions, or not always, but to look for shorts at these extensions, to look for longs potentially at the 1618 on rejection of the measure move targets. And what it really does is it dissuades you from trying to jump in on these pumps and eke out a little bit of a move. It's more patient. And it gives you like a guideline on how to set up potentially almost any trade on any asset. But that's a really perfect touch today, 7,700. And we have pulled back over the last 2 hours. Still looks strong as hell though, doesn't it? I wouldn't be surprised to see this continue even today. Just make sure you have somewhere to keep your uranium. You can't just like have it around your house. Platinum. Dude, we're a metals channel now. We haven't even looked at Bitcoin. I don't own enough. I don't think even own metals. And I'm like, we're a metals channel. Platinum's also exciting in that same sense as uranium. Platinum actually has, in my opinion, maybe the most potential upside in this metals run at the moment. Platinum is still relatively close to its previous all-time high of 2008. It's currently trading at 2,800. You adjust for inflation since 2008, and it's like still under its all-time high. But what gets exciting, let's clean this up, is it is also in price discovery. We can look back to the all-time highs and lows, and we can find our targets that have yet to been hit. They've hit on gold and silver. They haven't hit on platinum yet. That's why I say it might have more upside. These are kind of janky prices. The 1618 sits at 5,470. I typically like to take profit at the clean like 5,000 level. Measure move at 9,326. They're not very clean numbers. We can, of course, as we do, be like, okay, well, we'll make this a range because they're pretty tight anyway. That's fine. The exact science. It's not an exact science. And we can look at it like this. We can say this is a decent profit-taking range. This is going to be a decent profit-taking range up to 10,000. And beyond that, well, we just pack our bags. We just start living on the moon, right? I think those are both achievable. Obviously 5,000 much more in the shorter term than potentially almost 10,000. But a reminder, oh hell yeah, this is a great call. A reminder though, is this is the platinum to gold chart. We watched this breakout in real time on this channel. Platinum in relation to gold in 1969 traded at 5.6 to 1. It's currently trading at 0.5 to 1. For almost all of its history, platinum was worth more than gold. It actually was only in 2011. Again, 2011, mixing stuff up date-wise with metals. It was only really in 2011 that parity was lost. Oh no, it's right here. It's 2011. Derp. That parity was lost and platinum started trading under 1 to 1 with gold. It's been in a downtrend in this pair since then. We saw it break out early this year and basically just making those logical upside conclusions. Well, parity 1 to 1 was the major support for decades. You have been in a descending channel, whatever you want to call it. You've broken up. 1 is likely the area to be targeting. Platinum to trade in parity with gold. This has already been a very successful chart when it comes to predicting platinum outpacing gold. Incredibly successful. Damn, we even had a pullback on the week and we're breaking out higher. Today, yeah, even today. That is a 2x platinum against gold. Almost 76% gain. I think it's coming this year. Platinum's so exciting. Well, let's wrap other stuff. CME gap nobody cares about because it's basically not there. We have a tiny little CME gap above us, 89.5. Doesn't matter. We'll look at some bearish predictions for Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance lost its little rally it had going on last week. Hasn't like dumped out of its mind, but really just returned to that coiling of volatility. Highs coming down, lows coming up, just keeping us bored. I looked at silver. What's silver at now? 115.2. So we've continued all-time highs. Maybe we'll just keep silver up like we did the other day. Silver just continuing, doing its own thing. It's bonkers, dude. We used to have streams where we'd watch Bitcoin do this for what felt like ever. And we really didn't have any streams where this happened in this cycle. I guess we talk about Bitcoin. Guess we could talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin, nothing has changed. Again, it's hard to talk about it because nothing has changed. This looks terrible. It looked terrible. Does it look worse now? It looks worse, but really, again, we are just where we were. This has been the painful reality of Bitcoin for the last 2+ months. We have been seeing very slightly higher highs. Our lows have come up. We are building what inevitably looks like a bearish setup, right? This is what it looks like. But nothing has changed. If you weren't bearish in December, there's really no reason to be bearish now, in my opinion. Nothing has changed on the chart. We haven't seen lower lows. We haven't seen a breakdown. We've just largely seen sideways, not super energetic price action. I still believe that we are looking to tap into this zone up here in the low 100s. As time goes on, that high or that high target price does come down. The 200 daily moving average, when we first fell in November, was all the way up at 110. It's now all the way down to 105. It's lost 5,000. since November. And that's going to continue happening if price stays sideways. I still think we reach into here for liquidity. I can still see a future where metals top. Surprise. Just like we think Bitcoin, or have thought Bitcoin was just going to go up forever, every bull market. That's just not what happens. Nothing goes up forever. Even if we wanted to. Nothing just goes up forever, and inevitably metals will top as well. I can see a future scenario where the dollar is continuing to weaken, maybe even breaking down under 90 on the Dixie. Metals have topped, and basically there's some kind of rotation. Some kind of rotation into Bitcoin. I don't know. I'm not going to like call for alts. I don't know how great alts might fare in like a debasement, like a true debasement de-dollarization scenario. But I can see a future where a rotation happens into Bitcoin from metals, especially if Bitcoin did break down from here and traded lower while metals were at peak, and bring us some kind of 2026 rally. I haven't lost hope in that. If we break under 80.5, I'll like start considering it more. I'll give it more serious thought. But while we're here, I still think we're going for, at minimum, a dead cat bounce. Now, I wanted to show you the scary, spooky chart. I'm sure you guys have seen this. But I'm going to show you the scary, spooky chart. If things are just hitting the fan and we're not going to break up from here, and even in reality, if we do hit like 105, this could still play out. This is just 2022's bear market overlaid with price. It's just copy pasted this. Price does look a lot like this right now. That's the reality. Is price looks incredibly like this, and this was the dead cat bounce at the end of the bull run in the last cycle. Let me get rid of these. We had to touch the 200 and we fell down, right? It's worth looking at this. I'm still bullish, but it's worth looking at this and entertaining it and being aware of it, period. I've just overlaid it here, and it does fit like just too well. Like, look at this price action. It's almost, honestly, it's like almost too similar that it makes me not really trust it. Let me make it invisible. There you go. So let's entertain this idea and say, okay, if this is exactly happening again and life is this easy, then what can we do? What should we look for? And then how can we trade it? Easy peas. When we overlay it, we're only really missing one element from what we have seen price action wise since the fall. We have a low, a high, a higher low, a higher high, and then what happens? That's where we're at. What happens after those this higher high is price begins to make a falling wedge. When the falling wedge fails to reverse, that is when the fan was hit. That is when shit just fell out the bottom. We are potentially already seeing price action start this. Now, this is all shouldn't ever be taken literally. Things don't ever like perfectly repeat, but I mean, this is damn close. What we'd be waiting and watching for is this price action. Our highs and lows coming down, maybe one fake break that inevitably breaks our low here and brings us down to the next level. What's interesting is even that low sits at about the place I would expect to bounce to happen. If we break down from 80.5, we almost certainly will see a bounce at April's low, well below April's low, at 74, like under 74,000. As liquidity is swept from stops there, price would struggle or at least reverse shortly. As stops are hit, people look holding limits there, open, long, whatever, basically sweeping that liquidity lower high and into the next leg down, right? So it'd be like 70.4 down to like 58. I can see that happening. I can see that being like realistic price action. It just is like too perfect. This is really all it's missing. I can like delete this. This is all it's really missing. Lower highs, lower lows, and then just a breakdown. Support gives up. We travel lower. Perhaps, moving up to that 105 still doesn't necessarily like invalidate this. You can look at it this way. This is why these patterns are so dangerous, because they fit so well, especially when someone talented like myself fits them, that they get very convincing, but they're really not convincing. They shouldn't be. They're largely used for clickbait. Because if that did happen, we might just look for this maybe to stretch out, right? Something like this where our highs and lows are still met. We move up to like 105, whatever, and we can still then begin the same journey. So these are very compelling. They can be very scary, but in reality, they're just, there's I guess a way to keep perspective. Price does look very similar to the end of the last bull run. It unfortunately doesn't at the moment look super similar to the lows that we've recovered from over the last few years. The lows that we've recovered from have largely been lower lows, series of lower lows with lower highs that end in like a singular point that may, you can say capitulates, whatever, but springs back into action. We saw that in April. We saw the exact same thing in the summer before. Lower highs, lower lows, boom. This one didn't spring quite the same way, but it ended with that boom hit, right? And then you almost instantly began an uptrend. Ours isn't doing that. Ours is doing this right now. This is a series of lows down, series of lows down. This is a series of lows up. So it does look different. It could still play out this way. I'm hoping it does. But yeah, something to just like keep on our radar. Outside of that, I don't think I have anything really new to say about Bitcoin. Right? Like what new would there be to say? Back under the cloud, things feel bad. We do have a weakness in our cloud here right at the end of January. That's kind of spicy. Cloud flipped. We have a little weakness here on the day. RSI, I guess, kind of like crapping on that bull div. Still in the cloud on the week. The week is still looking for those low 100 taps. Now, this has been a compelling factor for me since we fell. Like, this 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐭 wants to be tested. Wants to be tested. 103. You can see here next week, we can't be at this price without being outside the cloud. It's kind of interesting. Looks so crappy. Crocodilo. And that's it. I don't know. I think that's a good intro. 40 minutes. Not bad of me ranting. I went over pretty much everything I wanted to go over, right? Stocks climbing back to all-time high. We'll see. We'll see. Uranium, platinum. We didn't look at oil, but oil is not really doing anything. We looked at the spookiness. We didn't look at all these pairs. We'll look at all these pairs, but I'll turn it over to the chat first, see what you guys are watching. 5,097. Stole our bull run. Silver at 116. Holy hell. Holy hell. Dude, it's like 122 is coming today. That is insane to think that that is possible. In no world would I take a long right now on silver trying to close at 122 today. In no world. But it's absolutely in reach. It's like a 5% move. We've seen a 5% move in the last 2 hours. That's crazy. Yeah, we'll look at those pairs. I'm going to turn it over to the chat. I have not been reading the chat. I'm sorry, guys. I've been in the zone, just trying to get some good stuff out and down and thoughts down. But let's see what you guys are looking at. We're at 116.20. Holy shit. Let's see the poll. 300 votes. We can get more votes than that, guys. 300 votes. How high can silver go? Can I make this bigger? Doesn't really work. Tops in about a third. 122, about a third. Or about a fourth. This is about a third. About a fourth for 245 and about a fourth for 500. We are really split. We're very split. A way to look at this, though, is that only 23% of us think the top is in, that the high point for silver is already in, meaning about 75% of us believe it's going to go higher. That is a little one-sided. We're a bullish channel, though, baby. Yeah, we're a bullish channel. What's up, Lord? Your fib level video really worked well. Hell yeah, bro. Hells yeah, Lord. Get it, dude. Those are great videos. They're definitely slept on by YouTube. YouTube sleeps on them. They get good views, but they deserve more. We just published a new video. few days ago. Holy fudge. Holy fudge. 12% on the day for silver. My lord. Dude, it's just like how we used to watch Bitcoin. We would just sit here, burn time, and watch Bitcoin crank. It's like absolutely crank for hours. It didn't happen at all this bull run, but silver is picking up the slack, I think. Little silver watch party, let's go. You're watching Tom Crown. What's up, Dumpus Maximus? How are you, man? Savage. Looking like the 2021 top retardio. Which one for Bitcoin? Chat did nothing wrong. What's up, Coca-Cola? Bullish on Meta, Paul. Man, look good. We can look at Meta. What do I expect from the Fed tomorrow on Wednesday? We have the FOMC. Good reminder, I need to make that public. I've had the stream set up for over a week, but I've had it unlisted accidentally. I just published that. That'll be live. So that's January 28th on Wednesday. We have the FOMC. What I expect, largely nothing. Largely nothing when it comes to decisions. I would put the probability of a rate cut at less than 10%. I'd put the possibility of a rate hike probably around the same number. I think we have about a 90 to 95% chance we get no interest rate decision. We could have more forward guidance. We could hear what they're expecting. We can see the dot plot change. We can see where the Fed, if they shift their goalpost where they expect the neutral rate to be by the end of the year. But I doubt there's going to be a lot. They certainly won't say anything about the investigation, like the federal investigation opened about their renovations or whatever. Certainly won't get any update on that. That will never be talked about during the FOMC. We didn't get any details on that, right? I swear I haven't heard anything about it since like that headline. Forward guidance about quantitative tightening and easing, likely going to see some more easing talk, but I don't think it'll be anything super substantive. Let me see. Let's check back in on the Fed. Make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Not really. Not really. We saw a very little amount of easing go on. They said that quantitative tightening would end December 1st. It did. It just takes time for these things to unwind. From that date into the end of December, we did see actually a little bit of easing on the balance sheet. However, right into the start of the year, that must have been some dated maturities on their assets or something. The start of 26, we saw a little tightening again and then largely just sideways. So a real easing cycle has not begun. Maybe we'll get more forward guidance on that. That would be valuable. It is also Chirpow's third to last FOMC. After Wednesday's FOMC, there'll only be two more with Chirpow. Then he'll be out of the chair position in May, and he will remain on the board until 2026. At least that's what he's supposed to do. I'm pretty sure he will do that, but we'll see. Damn, silver's still pushing. Final tune. Thanks for always streaming. Thanks for always being here, Paul. Appreciate you guys. You know, it's a rough time in crypto. It's been a rough time in crypto. I don't even have silver. I don't even have metals, but let's just celebrate for metal. Let's just celebrate. Anybody watch Randy Hipper? I jumped in for that. I didn't watch all of it, but I did listen to it. Dude, here's what I'll say about Schiff while we're vibing. Schiff is definitely a smart guy. Schiff isn't disillusioned by anything. For the most part. He has really solid foundational thoughts about most things, in my opinion. His belief about Bitcoin and crypto is fueled by, it's just his marketing. It's his like golden marketing ticket that has brought him millions and millions of dollars and millions of dollars worth of like marketing and traffic and basically signups for his gold site and sales, etc. So I don't believe that he 100% believes all the things he says about Bitcoin. I think he likely knows a good amount about it by this point. But it will always be in his marketing to shit on it. It's what works. It's rage baiting. It works. the way that he spoke to Randy was, I assume, how he speaks to everyone, or at least probably women. And that is very, as I say, like autistically, very boomer autistically. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's not that all people of that age speak that way, but you know the stereotype I'm talking about, where I just have this like kind of sense of entitlement that you can like shit on people and shit on their ideas, even when they're like coming to you for a discussion. It was embarrassing for him, in my opinion. I'm sure he wasn't embarrassed, but it was shitty. It was shitty. Like, some of the things, he just didn't need to make them personal, and at times he made them personal anyway. Maybe because he was just on his back foot, or maybe because of her energy, or again, probably just because of marketing, right? And here's a factor that we haven't really thought of, or I haven't really thought of, is Schiff right now is where we are mentally, or were mentally, in like early 2021 or maybe late 2017 for crypto, where you're all of a sudden right about everything. You're a genius. Everyone's trying to get in on the thing you're doing, and you've been doing it. Your ego, we were all there, gets a little bigger, gets a little bolder. You're riding that euphoria, that mania a little bit. And that was likely reflected in some of it as well. I like to give him the benefit of the doubt because I do think he is an intelligent guy. I definitely don't agree with all of his ideas, whether it's economically, obviously about gold, silver, Bitcoin, etc. But I think his foundations are in the right direction. Like, he's smart. He's not an idiot. Yeah. You have to keep in mind that he also is celebrating on our graves, you know, after saying Bitcoin was never going to go to 100,000, was never going to go to 10,000. Like, he's just been wrong over and over and over again. He's finally right. Like, he's just drinking it in. Maybe having a little bit of the BitBoy effect happening. Possibly. Last thing, and I'll read the chat again, is I do want you guys to remember this. This is why I said let's celebrate for silver, even though I don't have any. I have like that gold long half open. But let's celebrate for silver, because metal people and crypto people, we are the same people. We see the same issue. We distrust fiat. We see that fiat is printable. We see that it is worthless, and that it is inevitable it will be destroyed. It's all fiat's ever done. Gold and silver people, metal bugs, it's the same thing. We're all there. We're not enemies at all. In fact, we were all the same people when I started trading. Even like in 2017, they were all the same people. If you own Bitcoin, you own gold. There was like very few people in between. Somewhere along the line, and I do blame Peter Schiff for this, somewhere along the line, he managed to split us apart. He made us weaker. I think he made both gold and metals and crypto weaker by splitting us. Somehow he managed to turn us against each other. A really great example of how divisive social media can be intentionally for profit, right? So I don't know. That's why I say let's celebrate for him. We're not like celebrating the dollar doing well or something. Like, woohoo, yeah, fiat, you know? No, a lot of you have metals too. We're at 116.50. Silver inching up to 122. I guess like today. Screw it. Should have been a silver KOL, right? Same. This mixes 2014 vibes. Let's go. This needs clipping. What are we clipping, James? Yeah, he's having this moment in the sun. Big pooch. And dudes, we've been there. This is the thing, is I just like, I've never been on this side of it. I've always been on the euphoria side of it, of like, my portfolio doubled overnight. I'm gonna be a trillionaire tomorrow, you know? Like, I've always been on the inside of it. Now to be on the outside, it's just really interesting to watch. Of course I wish I had bought these assets. Of course I wish I had these gains. But to just watch it happen, like, I'm not mad. I'm really not salty. I always wish I would have made more money, right? But like, I don't know, it doesn't make me feel bad. But I can see just so many of the same symptoms that people saw in us in the previous bull runs, where it's like everyone having higher and higher and higher targets. The targets are getting, like, it goes up a little, and all of a sudden people are like pushing their targets back 10x or 20x. Like, it's just like euphoria mania behavior. And that's why I said earlier in the episode that all markets really, I guess, are the same thing. Under the right conditions, they all behave the same way. Like silver's behaving just like Bitcoin, just like crypto has done in the past. Like broke all-time highs, and now it's just going to keep going up until the bids collapse. There's like, that's all that it is. The more people you hear talking about it in your everyday life, the more front page posts you see on Reddit about it, the more silver and gold are in your headlines, the closer that collapse is coming. That's what we've learned in these lessons. I'm not saying that collapse is coming right now for anybody tuning in or anything, but what I'm saying is we've seen this. We've learned this lesson. We know this. This is our bread and butter. Should be hitting those nose beers with BitBoy soon, probably. I guess Ben's still making content. It doesn't show up on my feed anywhere anymore. Metal's moving like crypto, yeah. Well, they said that crypto would move like traditional markets, and traditional markets just started moving like crypto. It's weird. This dude's head is always on right. I agree, Wick. Love you, brother. I will say that, fam. I'm not always right, but my head's always on right. I'm always in the right place. Your ego's a genius. What's up, Real Triple? The only issue is that we are happy because Bitcoin or metals are now worth a lot of fiat. Sure, but we can also say we were happy because Bitcoin was worth more gold. You know, or now we can be happy gold's worth more Bitcoin. Like, I've always found that to be a self-defeating thought. It's like, well, you measure it and you measured success in fiat, so you're not getting away from fiat or something like that. And in reality, it's just like we're measuring it through the perspective that we have in everyday life, right? And that perspective through dollars was never going to change, like without drivers, without debasing currency, without currency failing. Like, you know, like there wasn't really an alternative. I guess it's like we would want stores and to buy everything with Bitcoin, but I don't even want to do that. I don't know. We're about to hit 117 here on silver live. Holy shit. Who else? Glad they got silver at 15 bucks. Hey Zaz, where the hell did you get silver at 15 bucks, bro? Stole it off the back of a truck. By the way, I love you, Wick. Good to see you, man. Are you going to Bitcoin 26? I haven't decided yet. Lower interest rates there. What's up, Father Braids? We got some OGs back. Definitely no interest rate cut on Wednesday, in my opinion. New Fed chair in May. Technically, I think it's April is the last FOMC with Powell. I'll have to look at those exact dates. But no, it's when his term ends. His chairmanship ends in May of this year. You should not have to convert your crypto to slave tokens to buy shit. I don't want to pay for stuff with Bitcoin though. I don't know. It's complex. Can we look at Bitcoin measured in metals? That's actually the one thing we didn't finish doing today. Is the one slab of charts we didn't finish today. We can definitely look at it. Not oil though. Oil is not what we're talking about. Obviously, the one that's going to be most interesting is going to be Bitcoin versus silver. We are almost there. We are so effing close. I don't know what happens if this breaks though. 7%, about 7-8% for Bitcoin versus silver to retest the bear market bottom in December of 22. Not gonna lie, that's not good. It's not good at all. It's not what you want to see. Did have a higher high. Would love to see this reverse before tapping that. But at this point, I don't really know why I would be betting on that. This has been an absolute free fall since October. Here we are at 750. We're looking for 690. This is the likely scenario, in my opinion, is to see that pullback reverse, you know, we can call it short-term, medium-term reversal, correction, whatever you want to call it. as silver hits this downward support at 690, 8%. Likely see a bounce. You know, this is just picking numbers at this point. We're really far ahead. Maybe back to 1,000. You know, like the degree of the bounce isn't probably, you know, not determined yet. But I think that this is incredibly likely that we see some kind of bounce here, even if it only brings us back to the bottom of this band, and a breather. A breather, whether that just means silver taking a break for a minute or Bitcoin actually moving up a little bit. Maybe that timing coincides with Bitcoin moving to like 105 or 106 or something for like our dead cat bounce. We are very, very close. This is crazy though. This is actually fucking nuts. Bitcoin silver has never moved like this, ever. The only time it kind of moved like this, I'd say, is back here in 2011. It's like huge downside, huge sell-off. Really didn't happen. Really didn't happen outside of that. We've had these big pumps into the bull market, but we've never seen this. This is bonkers, dude. Silver since August of 25 has gained 76%. Like 300% or something against Bitcoin. What is an interesting note here? Here's one interesting note of Hopium we'll sit on. Is if you had bought Bitcoin at the bottom of the bear market, you still would be outperforming silver right now. Only by like a few percent at this point, but you still would be outperforming silver. When silver, or if silver trades below 690, only then would you be better off having bought silver at the bottom over Bitcoin. Really puts into perspective of just how much Bitcoin grows when it grows. It's truly impressive. I don't know if we'll get any like mega giga signals that'll convince us of reversal right now or something on this chart. But we do have weekly RSI, the first time ever actually, oversold. Bitcoin versus silver has never seen that before. It's come very close. Absolutely oversold. RSI at the lowest point it's ever been at. This does suggest one thing on the month. If we do see reversal here or anywhere above 690, we do have bear div on the month. You can see each time Bitcoin is sold off versus silver each time. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. It has been at the RSI low, and those RSI lows have lined up with basically bear market bottoms. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we are again. Boop, boop, boop. Wild fucking times, friends. Wild times. Hopefully everybody stayed warm. I just did a bunch of shoveling this morning, so I'm wearing my tank top again. What are we even gonna do with this chart? Like, you are so cooked, bro. Like, look at how low, look at how far below you are the 200-day week moving average. It's like never happened. Death cross coming. I wonder how far away we are from 200 months. Five months away. Interesting. In 5 months. In 5 months, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. June. In June, we will get the 200 monthly moving average for the first time. I don't know where it will be. Probably around there. We have to get to like 600 weekly or something to get down here. More. 800. Ugh. Woohoo, the 800 weekly moving average. Bounce, baby. It would be good to bounce above this level. Any higher low would be better. Bitcoin versus silver. Bitcoin versus gold also. This is interesting because they're kind of starting to line up too. Bitcoin versus gold. Pulling a similar move, but way, way, way weaker. Way behind silver. Silver is literally right here on this chart. It's all the way down here. Gold is still in a, I'll say, in a healthy spot. I think this might suggest that there's going to be a revaluation of gold versus silver. That silver might hold on, like whenever inevitably metals retrace and are no longer in an infinitely parabolic mode, that silver will hold on to some of its value. Like forever, like long term. It might be early to suggest that. But gold in a much healthier spot here. July high. All of this consolidation from March until November, almost the entirety of 2023. Support and resistance created. You broke out. Coming back just now. Really, just coming back now to test that as support. We saw silver dump through it. We've seen platinum, I think, test into it. We'll check that too. That could suggest that gold is going to look to do the same. That would be shitty. It'd be shitty. I already have these here. Never mind. That'd be shitty. But I guess we're going to have to wait and watch. Wait and see here. There's some good confluence. Yeah. Yeah, that's good confluence. 618 right here. This is a juicy spot. Whenever this does hit, I think we get a bounce. Worst case is bounce drop to the bottom. You can see it pretty clear on the month. What's that for gold against Bitcoin? About 7%, 6-7% again. $5,500. This is some good content. Should have asked Pickle to timestamp it. It's okay. Some good stuff we did today. I set this alert. Yeah, here's the platinum. So platinum's in the middle. This is what makes me uncomfortable about gold's move. Platinum in the middle. Silver down here, gold up here. Silver's already broken through that support. Or platinum has already broken through that support. It didn't bounce like I'm hoping and expect from gold. Which is poopy because ruins my ability to use that as trading information. Platinum against Bitcoin, same thing as silver and gold. You have these lows. Each one has marked a bear market bottom. I don't see reversal yet on higher time frames. So weird. It says bicycle bottom there. Not a lot going on these moving averages either. We just see them trading really, really below their 200 weeks. Probably the upside target if we see a bounce from any of these levels. But this makes me uncomfortable. You can see, I guess maybe less uncomfortable because you can see there's at least a little bounce there. But falling through, looking to put on another 15% against Bitcoin maybe. That makes sense because I was just saying when we're going over platinum that I think platinum has the best upside in this run. The best upside remaining in this run. It trading to 5,000 is like a 2x versus gold's at 5,000, so it's 0x. 0x. What's silver at? Taking a break? Maybe silver, are you? Nope, just for this 5-minute candle. We live in a crazy world. Now the Silver Channel. You're now watching the Silver Channel. Okay. I just got mad distracted. Let's get back to the chat. Ice is melting in Austin. Nice. Pickle is stuck in traffic or blew his tire from all that silver. Cheers to Pickle, man. Pickle was stacking metals like from the day that I've known him, and he did it way longer, way before he met me. And I remember thinking like, that's a good idea. I've always recommended people have metals and everything, you know, diversified portfolio. But I remember thinking like, you should just buy Bitcoin. And now I'm the one like damn it, I wish I would have done that. So cheers to him, dude. He is taking some profits. He's still got bags. It's good shit. Super Cycle 2026. Let's go, Julio. Anybody bouncing half an ounce? All right, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of these. Pickle owns a lot of silver. Pickle he's been stacking metals forever. Life with James. What are you waiting for? Which bounce? We're more consistent retail. Yeah, there's different crowds of retail though. There's like retail, call it like retail traders or investors, right? And then there's retail. So like we're like retail investors and traders, but like our parents or our random friends are like retail, actual retail. Bitcoin versus cocaine price. Is there a cocaine global price chart? Street prices for controlled drugs, gov.bm. Wow, this is I don't encourage any drug use. YouTube doesn't let us. Only for medical reasons. But look, this is gov.bm. Look at this beautiful, look at the Girl Scout cookies. What's going on here? What timeline is this? Where am I? Purity graph. I don't know if I can find like an up-to-date, which is weird because you know this data exists. It absolutely exists. Because like even if it's illegal or whatever, like countries are still tracking this. I only see the data to like 2010. Guess they don't want to give good ideas to the, like, I don't know. It's weird. I can't find any recent data. Let me know in the Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. Send me it over there. One more time. Are you lying? Are you lying? What's up, CR McDonald? How you doing, man? Ask Grok. Well, all I need is a chart of the product, and then I can make it. I can make the Bitcoin chart. To be honest, I don't think that they've like really gone up in price the way that other things have. Though what do I know? I don't know the price of them. You faded silver. It's okay, bro. Who else is here today? If you're here today, if you're lurking, just say hello. Put a little message in chat. It's getting quieter. I see Donald, Crypto Stevo, Dark Side, D-Lo Brown, Life with James, Loki, nice name. Big Pooch, Stone. What's up, Go Frank? Until Loons Become Lions. Worston Bruges, YB Savage. Who else is here? It dawn now. It's darkest before dawn now. Grok can make charts. It can, but Grok doesn't really. So Grok would be really good at making charts that you have data sets for, like that you feed it. I'll ask. There we go. What up, boys? There we go. What's up, JJP? How you doing, man? Greg? Silver futures looks like the next fib. Like, we can zoom in and get fibs, but I really, like, the reliability of fibs gets so crappy. I feel like it just gets, like, crappy when you get zoomed in. And even if it didn't, even if they're just as good, it's like the moves are meaningless. It's like, okay, from 109, yeah, it's like a 1% move. Doesn't give us really what we want from it. What's up, Donnie? How you doing, bro? Patrick? DXB, my guy. Grok is whipping this chart up for us right now. Up and run. What's up, bro? Sin, my guy. Good to see you. Good to see you, friends. Coming out of the woodwork. Red Bull, what up? Krug. Keeping it real. Court, will it dump to 100? I have every confidence that silver will trade at 100 again. Today, I don't think today. But I have every confidence in the world that it'll trade to 100 again. It might take a while. I have no idea how long it'll take. What's up, Power Friend? 5-minute break. What's up, brother? Always lurking. Hell yeah. 5-minute break. Appreciate you. CK lurking since 19. Yep. Us normies just want a decent all season, bro. I'm right here with you. I don't even know. Imagine being me. Imagine putting all your eggs in one basket, and then that basket, there was no Easter that year. Or other industrial metals going up like steel. That I don't know. I would assume yes. I would assume yes, because you look at copper, and copper's at all-time high, or right near all-time high. Your nice little industrial metal. Copper really didn't move much. Copper more of a crypto breakout. 2025 cycle crypto breakout. Hit all-time high and then just like sold back off just immediately. Absolutely immediately after all-time high. Right back underneath it. Steel, is there? I'm sure I can get a steel chart. What's up, Charles? Balls side something. We'll cut grass for silver. Will you shovel my backyard for silver? I actually need to get the snow off my porch. What's up, Schmeedy? How you doing, Schmeedy? Those days are gone. It's a new world. I don't know. It's so easy to get super pessimistic about crypto, and like I feel it too, and it's okay to feel that way, guys, don't worry. But I think it's foolish to think that like that's it. You know, I think it's foolish to be like you know, like its time is over, it'll never pump again. Like that's how it always feels. It always feels that way after a cycle. Can you get a side of Nachi with your fibs? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, Wiggins. Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Charles. Major fibs getting blown. Oh god, I wish I was a major fib. Giggity. What's up, Cactus? What's up, Randy? Prez Ronald Grump. Bank shouldn't have shorted. What's up, Corto? You think after FOMC silver will go up 100? So we were talking about the possibility. The dollar. Dixie is right near trendline support. Untested since September. It would not be surprising to me to see FOMC or even the day before. And then the dollar bounce. Yeah, I'm not looking for new all-time highs, but like dollar for a lower high, maybe. Right? And then inevitably breaking down. And during this bounce, I can see metals reversing. I would typically say Bitcoin reversing as well, but Bitcoin is not trending like metals. Something tells me that like in this scenario, for some reason, Bitcoin would pump. I don't know. Just like because it hurts my brain to think of that outcome. But I think that we do see some spice into the FOMC. The timing of approaching this trend line, the cleanliness of it, you know, like today opening up down into that trend line is huge. Looking at your gold silver pair, gold versus silver is either going to bounce here or it's going all the way back to 2021's low. There's like no in between for me. It's like reversal here or go down to 30. But I think the timing of this coming into this trend line lines up with the dollar. You go to Bitcoin versus, we'll call it Bitcoin versus silver. This looks like it's farther away from a bounce than those other charts, but it looks like it's coming, right? Coming to retest that bear market low. Gold is coming into alignment as well. There's a lot of charts that are just like one trading week this week or a few days away from major targets. If I could see them all hit at the same time and have a kind of just like a broad impact on all these rallies for a short term, like maybe into the end of the month, and then we have February, right? Like not going to end everything kind of stuff, but like just shorter term reversal. Get the pullbacks we're looking for. What's up, Adam Buzzard? You were the first one here. Cheers. Grok sucks at charts. Yes, it does. It didn't even make one. Did not make a graph. I told it. I said make a chart of the price of versus Bitcoin over the last 10 years. And so it gave me all this data and didn't make a graph. Fucking AI, bro. Pickle giving out memberships. Pickle's just flexing on us now. He's got membership money. Membership money with all these medals. GameStop. What's going on with GameStop? GME's moving? What? I know I'm going to pull this up and be disappointed, but yeah, I'll get baited. How's Litecoin doing? Don't even ask, Ronald. Don't even ask me.
Long-time listener, 2020, first-time super sticker. Thanks for doing what you do, Tom. How about the double bottom on the gold-silver ratio in 2019, last summer?
Sir Ronald Grum, my guy. Thank you for the 20. It's been a while since someone's tipped 20. We don't really have like the tipping culture anymore. But it's been a while. Appreciate you, man. I think it has to be over 10 for it to read it. We can definitely look at that. First time super sticker. Double bottom on the gold-silver ratio chart. 2019. Okay. Let me, I definitely want to look at GME too, though, even though I don't think it's going anywhere yet. You guys got me excited for nothing, as GME always does. Double bottom. 19. So I'm not seeing that. Gold-silver ratio, 2019 last summer. So 2021? No. Last summer, May. What am I missing? What am I missing here? Because here's 2019. And here's last summer. What am I missing? Is it these 2 points you're looking at? This is gold divided by silver, by the way. You might be looking at silver divided by gold. We'll see if you can clarify. My Litecoin, bro. My Litecoin. Roaring. Ooh, Russell. I haven't looked at that in a while. I'll pull it up just for later. The rut. Where my life is. The rut. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, breakout ski. We'll get back to that. Man of the people. Paul, I love you, bro. You make it better. Shoveled your driveway? Hell yeah. Shovel it for uranium? If I had enough uranium, I could just melt this now. The moment you give up is the moment they pump. Such true words, dude. Okay, let me catch up. Still dreaming of the blow off top for Bitcoin we're supposed to get this year? Dude, yeah. Dreaming. It's more, they're becoming nightmares, slowly haunting me. What's up, Kodan? What's up, brother? What's up, Brian Ball? Hash rate chart on Bitcoin TradingView. There is. There's data for it on TradingView. You can also always go to fork.lol. Is there going to be a reversal? Yeah, there'll be a reversal, baby. Cam girl vibes. Whoa. Ronald Grumpsters. Let me refresh the chat. What's up, Froggy? Mid 2009. Okay, thank you. Thank you. 2009.
Thank you for doing the metals chart. More metals.
Oh, metals, baby. What's up, 118? We'll do it. We're doing it right now. This has been a great episode for content because we have done some really good data analysis on a lot of different metals. 2009. So 2009 gives us kind of the same problem. So the lows for this chart, do you mean here and here currently? The problem is the low was in 11 and that low, okay, that low was a double bottom. I didn't actually notice this. That's kind of good that you brought this up. Silver's retracing now. It's under 115. It's just chilling. I didn't want to say retracing. Here is a double bottom from 1983 to 2011. There's a double bottom. That was at 30. And in fact, that's the price we're basically looking for. I was saying if we don't bounce here, it's like a virtually guaranteed trip to this 30 line to test it again. I can't find the dates you're looking for though. Inverse. Okay, so I wondered if that was the case. So you're looking at silver to gold, which is fine. Silver to gold. when you just invert the chart. I'm glad you told me to invert this chart because actually this is good perspective. I didn't notice this over here. That was a double top. 15. Back in the 70s into the 80s. From 70 to 80. Lower highs, started an uptrend, lost the uptrend. Started the downtrend, broke the downtrend. This is actually kind of crazy. The problem here is there still won't be, I guess, it really won't be double bottoms here. I think you'll be looking at April's low and this was a double. But the problem is you have a lower point in the middle, which kind of just janks it up. Double, triple bottoms. The problem with double, the problem with like any amount of touches to support is that you really just never want to touch them. Double bottoms tend to lead to reversals, right, in the time frame, but I would say end up breaking. They're not like true lows. I don't know. Let me see. Change some constitutional. How's it going? Gets in the mid 30s. Yeah, so the lower this goes, the more gold you're getting for your silver. So trading silver for gold right now, you have really crushed it. If you bought obviously in, you know, up here, basically doubled. Wait for this 30. It's still a haircut down 30%. I always recommend doing things in batches and layers, not all at once. When you do things all at once, you know, you're all out. You really drive FOMO. Wow, 𝐒𝐻 made the weirdest charts for this thing that you guys wanted to see. Terrible. Yeah, nah, he's terrible. 𝐒𝐻, dude, our jobs are safe. Our jobs are safe, bro. This is the graph that it invented for us. And I get what it was doing. It was just using ASIC to try to make a graph. But bro, like, look, it only has like singular data points, kind of. There's no data point on 16. There's no data point on 17. Maybe 18, or maybe it's in between 18 and 19 is the first data point. 1, 2, 3 brings us to 21. The next one is until 24. And then look, into 26. We have a data point for 26, for 27, and even all the way into 28. Our jobs are safe for now. They're safe for today. Do better. Gonna sell your cutlery. So here's the problem. Here's some thoughts I had actually recently. Here's some thoughts I had very recently about this. So one, I do wonder if some of silver's rally has to do with illiquidity of silver. Silver itself is likely infinitely liquid in the sense of you could find a buyer anywhere, like for any amount, right? But if you take your silver to the shop right now, they're not going to give you a 114. You take it to a broker, whatever, they're not going to give you 114. Period. In my experience listening to Pickle talk about this, there's usually huge margins on this shit. Like, huge spread. I don't know. I've heard upwards of 30%. That might be, you know, exaggeration. That might be like, you know, you're doing it at the ATM in the mall kind of thing. But I have heard of huge spreads on silver where if you sell it, they buy it for 77. We're just making these numbers up, even though it's 114. But if you buy it, you're buying it up here for 150 or something. And so some of this price could be driven by the fact that people just really can't get out of silver, and they can't get out of it certainly at the prices that are here in front of us. They'll maybe give 84. Thank you, Sharknado. How you doing, brother? Hope you and your family are well from that. 30% is pawn shop levels. Good. Okay, thank you, Pickle. So, you know, those aren't the percents you want to pay, but the fact is that there is always this buffer. It's not like Bitcoin where you can always get the market price instantly. Bitcoin is the most liquid asset on earth now. You guys know that, right? It'd be awesome if that meant we had a great bull run. Apparently it doesn't fucking matter. But Bitcoin is now the most liquid asset on earth. 24/7, 365, you can cash out a Bitcoin in size and get market price. Can't do that, honestly, with anything. I don't think there's anything in the world that even comes close to that liquidity. Liquidity is a factor of volume and size, but it's also a factor of timeliness, of how fast you can do it. Huge margins. Covered calls are blowing up. Oof. China limiting the sale of silver. 20% margin. So the point, the point really was that there's these crazy margins and you can't actually get out of it. You can't actually get out of it the same way. That could be a factor. Certainly will be, whenever it tops out for this run, will be a factor. People will be stuck in it. I think a few years ago, Pickle might remember, a few years ago, I had talked to you guys about a strategy because I was always talking about Bitcoin pairs and a strategy trading from Bitcoin to altcoins. Didn't do quite as well this run. But I had talked to you guys about a strategy where instead of trading Bitcoin to dollars or whatever I was doing into dollars, that I should look to take like a percent of my portfolio and trade it against gold, because my thought was, okay, well, in a paired trade, so gold, silver, dollar, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you only think in terms of those assets. And so the worst case scenario when you're trading those, in theory, would be that you're stuck in the asset you don't want to be stuck in, right? And largely that's the dollar. You don't want to be stuck in the dollar. When everything goes up, you're losing, etc. And I said, it might make sense to do a part of your portfolio to trade against gold, because I'd rather be stuck in gold than be stuck in dollars. If only I'd listened to my own advice. If only I had gone forward with that. I absolutely remember talking about that and then not doing it. So, The USA administration bankrupt? Yes. I think that's fair. I mean, bankrupt as the people who print the dollars can be, yeah. Yeah. Is that America's extreme poverty? It certainly is extreme poverty, but we're not quite there yet. It's coming, baby. We're in a different kind of extreme poverty right now. We can see 𝐂𝐢 says we can all agree the dollar sucks. That's what I was saying earlier about gold and silver people. We're not enemies. We are the same people. It is absurd to let people tear us apart, to separate us. It's absurd. Silver and gold people are in silver and gold largely because they too believe that fiat is worthless and that it will be debased until it's literally worth nothing. They're the same people. We can't let fucking Peter Schiff and his, I'll say, brilliant marketing make us all hate each other. We all agree the dollar sucks. It does. All currency is fake currency, though, Ajit. Any currency printed by a printer is fake. % top is in. Now we see rotation. I mean, you literally can never know when these things will reverse. I wouldn't hold my breath until 122 is tapped. Who knows how long that'll take. I think there is like a 99% chance, probably higher, that silver eventually trades to 100, whether it's soon or not soon. 100 was just ignored on the way up. We're going to see a tap there. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see silver return to $53 at some point. This could take years. If it was crypto, this would take 1 year. Could take years, could not. But like the lowest price on silver, you'll likely never see again. But much lower prices we'll likely see. almost certainly. What's up, Das Peach? What's up, my guy? I mean, there's extreme poverty pretty much everywhere in the world. I don't know. Kind of like trying to weaponize that fact. It's weird. Tell you entry Azir. Are you looking at silver? Here you go, $100. I can't give you financial advice. Can we get some Tom Crown top down? BTC TA? Yeah, we can. We can. Metals have got me more inspired right now. Purity of metals is important. Yeah, because it's never 100%. If Michael Saylor sells, it'll just be a FUD drop. I mean, at this point, guys, Michael Saylor buying billions and billions and billions did nothing for the price. I'm not really worried about him selling it. I don't know. Like if Saylor, I don't think he honestly will sell. I don't think that strategy will be in a position that they'll have to sell. But if it ever happened, it'd probably just be like the biggest opportunity to buy. You would likely see some crazy crash in price, but that crazy crash in price would almost certainly then just like rocket. Like rocket. Because you'd smash down into like untapped liquidity for... I don't think it'll happen. But if it does happen, I wouldn't expect that to be like a long-term bad thing for price. Likely price would be really negative going into it. You would get like a spike down like FTX liquidation in 22. And then that would be it. It would be over. You just wouldn't feel like it was over yet. Could have traded PAX G, I know. I know. I know. Sells Bitcoin for silver? I doubt it. Everything pumping except crypto. I know, dude. Why? It's just I don't know. I'm really lost, guys. It's like, you know, even though at times I'm bored of crypto, you know, I do this all day, every day. Like I said, all my eggs in the same basket. And Bitcoin is like the only thing I've ever believed in. I'm just confused. I'm just as confused as you. I don't know. It seems impossible that we went through a whole cycle and just like nothing really happened. Trades. Shit. Okay, no. Okay. I thought I closed the entire gold position. I didn't. We're still up, baby. Trading on BYDFi. Closed half of it at 5,000. I don't know. I guess I keep the other half for whatever. I don't really have many positions open right now. Smirsh the lurks. Smirsh the lurks. The gasp. Yeah, bro. Silver crashed all the way to 130 to prices not seen since today. That's a good tweet. I think I might tweet that. It's time I start shit posting about silver and gold. Oh man, people got so triggered. It's exactly what what happened with us in Bitcoin and crypto over the years. It's like it's going up, we're all euphoric, and then it goes down a little bit. People are like, "Oh my god, it's crashing! It's so over!" And like I would get like mad about it, and it's the same thing happening now about gold. Like if you say it's crashing or something, people get so mad. Silver crashes to prices not seen since today. That'll get them clicking. That'll bait their clicks. There you go. Top in, Tor Eater? I don't think so. billion-dollar question. I don't think the top's in. I don't think the top's in until 122 hits. But we're in price discovery. Silver has only moved up like the trick in the game now is to play the layers, is to play the extensions and just chill, just sit back and chill. 4% down. This is the biggest red candle silver's seen maybe since Wednesday last week. About a 4 or 5% candle in an hour. Now down about 5% in an hour. So we have another one right here. It's big, but I'll even say the reaction to this sell-off, like people saying like, oh, is it over? It's stopping, is like very Bitcoin crypto earlier cycles where it's like still had more to go. Monkey XRP went into price discovery. Apparently it didn't find much. I'll pull up XRP just for that. That's savage, bro. Savage. XRP BTC. That's where it was. Yeah, it didn't find much up there. Ripple nuked my trade. Still not stopped out. Technically, it's still holding the low, but it's sketchy. So far, it's held December's low. Altcoins are just such a rough bet. You now have resistance you got to mess with again at $2. Doesn't look great, dude. This looks bad. It all looks bad, except for gold and silver. ADA, BTC bottomed. You guys, you're always jazzing me up, making me think stuff's happening. I look at the chart and I'm like, bro, nothing happened. ADA in dollars, still where we left it, still looking for that bounce. 34 cents. Looks like ass, but BTC. I don't know, Mom might need help with something, probably snow related, but not this second. ADA bottomed. I think that is a very, very early call, my friend. Very early call. This candle is nice. This candle not giving me bottomed vibes yet. Man, it needs to bottom like 390, 400. Like it needs to be bottomed here, or it's going to fill that wick. Or it's going down to 266. It's going to drop in half. Yeah, I can't get on board with it's bottomed yet. It's a little early. Maybe a close above 480, like 500 sats. Platinum's the next move, bro. Platty Daddy is the next move. Platty Daddy is the next move. That's my opinion. I think this is it. Copper, copper definitely could be. Something about copper though, I mean, it's just my bias because I can't tell you why. It makes this like super industrial. Like I for some reason underestimate it. Platinum though, baby. Platinum's got so much ground to make up. It's had such a delicious break from gold. Like, I think platinum trades to parity with gold this year. Back to 1. That means it's like double against gold. Zoom out. Zoom out on what? Oh my god, check Litecoin, Ronald Grum. Why do you do this to me? Why do you torture me? Why do you do this to me? So So Litecoin has this, but against ADA, ADA doesn't have. Litecoin has traded to a higher high versus last month against its Bitcoin pair. That's some hopium. Dollar pair looks pretty bad. It looks pretty bad. I suppose I should say no worse than it usually does. Trading below 63 cents is just Goblin Town, Nukesville. Puts 50 back in play. We need a miracle. Need a miracle, bruh. Gnarly candle on gold, but nothing we haven't seen before. Gold has done this pop and then sideways. This dance. 14 minutes on the silver candle, and everyone is mad spookiest. Yeah, Benjamin Cohen said it right a long time ago. There's always a bull market somewhere. That somewhere is not my portfolio. It's like not even retracing it. Boop, boop. What else was I looking at? Shit. I have GME pulled up here, but like GME is just really not that interesting. It's really not doing anything. Had a nice day today, I suppose. It's up 6% today. I see people getting excited. But it's like, bruh. Bruh. It's held its lows well, but I don't know. Do you guys think GME will actually ever run again? I feel like it's the meme coins, many of the meme coins, but for like stockholders. It's like you bought these meme coins with a long-term vision for some reason, and like, what? Why? Like, nah, you just hold them as they don't do anything. But maybe I'm jaded and maybe I'm grumpy and salty because my gold and silver doesn't exist. Song's a banger, hell yeah. Ben says we are in a bear market. It's a logical assessment. It's a logical assessment. Looking at the 4-year cycle, it's like that's where you'd be at. There's nothing else to really say about it. Betting otherwise and being optimistic like me is really holding on to a prayer that, I don't want to say a miracle, but a big wild card. Something unexpected. Nickel? I think I've actually made a nickel chart before. Nickel futures. Wisdom tree nickel. Gotta be careful saying nickel. Is this it, Stone? Well, that's a wild chart. Not as wild when you zoom out. Squeezed into the year start. I mean, it's a chart to watch. There's no reason not to watch it right now. GME isn't GameStop, yes. Nickel for a pickle? Nah, nickel pickle is gold status now. Is this it? Stone, is this the chart? What about sodium? I don't know. What about magnesium? What about potassium? Want to get sunglasses sponsorship? Maybe. No, I'm not gonna do that. Gold. Yeah, we've had gold up. Gold. Gold in the same little rut for this hour. We're gonna close already. Not even 0.5%. Make sure you guys have subscribed. I haven't said, I've just like been forgetting. Make sure you subscribe to the live stream. Make sure you've liked, voted in the poll, said hello, engaged. Check out our free trading course on this channel. The best free trading videos on YouTube, period. Hands down, check them out. You should join our Discord, discord.gg/TomCrown. We're going to be live for the FOMC Wednesday. A chur pow will be coming in. The pecans are looking delicious. Pecans thrive in snow. I made that up. Make sure you've checked out our exchange sponsors, BYDFi and FEMX. Anybody can sign up and trade there anywhere in the world. Pecans, yes, the pecan market is... It's not for all. It's not for the lighthearted. It's for the nuts. Ha! It's for the nuts. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just more of a pecan man. Pecan man. 5 minute looks decent here. I don't think silver's done. I think silver wants 122. Great Depression starts in 8 months. Okay. Alright. XMR. Dude, Monero. We were doing so good and then it just pooped the bed. Should have sold more at that all-time high. Monero, at least against Bitcoin, obviously terrible candles there over the last week or two, but still holding the low. I mean, not out of hope yet. Ugly, man. Some of our first Monero longs getting stopped out here in forever. If I was in like a levered position for Monero, I would probably put the stop like under today's low. And just be out if it breaks, right? Out if it's if it trades low. It's still okay. It's ugly. But it's still okay if it keeps doing this, right? If it keeps the lows. It's still okay. But absolutely in peril. In jeopardy. You guys remember when I sold the Monero? Not all of it. But I sold some of my Monero at 7:45 live. We did it. Thinking about silver, it's all we're thinking about, baby. It's all we're thinking. Wait for this hour to close. So that's first down hour. I mean, you're down, it was about a 5% candle, which is pretty crazy in an hour. But it's not something we haven't seen recently. We saw this on Wednesday of last week. Little wick forming down here. I'm still looking at 122. Closed Friday at 103. Yes. I do remember because I was telling people to lock in profits and people were real mad. And I was like, all right, we'll see where it goes. 103. I think it's still fine. 4 hours about to close. This is kind of a gross 4 hour. Spy gold, yep. Silver ready dumped 40%. Jeez. All right, made 4K. All right. I don't know about that. That'd be crazy though, wouldn't it? Man, you're looking for upside there. That's upsetting. They're ugly. $120 would happen when? I mean, like this week, maybe before Wednesday. I mean, hell, like an hour ago, it looked like it was going to happen today. What does silver SPX look like? We know it's crushing Bitcoin, so it's obviously crushing. It's obviously crushing SPY. Here we go. The hour closed. It's just like when Bitcoin was in like all-time high bull market craziness. It's like pumping all day. We're watching it pump, and then the second we get a red candle, people jump in like, is it over? Are we done? Is the rally gone? Ooh. I think silver's already broken. Yeah. Silver already broke out. Right at the 618. Damn. Kind of crazy. Yeah, look at that. Cleared the trend lines, just open air until all the way down here. Highest volume ever for silver futures. It's really hard to see hourly data like that. Because you can't go back and look because it readjusts. The CDF's on silver. I mean, volume has been increasing. That's really all that matters. Cents right here. Cents 42. I only get these volume bars worthless. Hunt Bros, what's that? Could be time to close. Could be. Silver SPX, that's an interesting spot to potentially bounce. Silver break this trend line while we were live. Something about it doesn't look like it's right. What happened here? Did my trend line move? Because it should be right here. Why was it right here? Technically, this is the lowest point. This is where it should be, but now it's all the way down there. Let's put it on a higher time frame. Maybe it's goofing it up. That's weird because this didn't move that much. How did this break? How did it break that? Am I like super high right now? What's happening? How did that happen? No, it's not. Okay. I don't know. 50% chance that this is it, boys. I mean, it's like 50, you know, it's 50-50. It either is or it isn't. So it's 50%. Either is or it is or it is not. How did that happen? Oh wait, it had already broken. It's a different chart. Okay. Yeah, you got a little fatigue here on the brain. Barato. Bitcoin, I guess, enjoying metals taking a breather. Dollar bouncing, as we said in the beginning of the episode. Con queso with cheese. Ooh, further downside on silver. What? What? Ooh. Actually, it's now getting real spicy. Getting real spicy now. Ooh. Let's go. It's your time, Bitcoin. Silver's taking a break. It's your time. It's your only moment. Put this in the corner. Gold taking a break. Silver taking a break. Ho! Ho! Hi-yo. Hi-ya. Hi-yo, hi-ya. Ondeo. Okay. Throw it up there. Damn, silver. Yeah, silver taking it back. It did. That is a pretty gnarly 4-hour close. Probably still way early to get like, whew, really? How is that possible? There's 12 hours from Sunday. Still green on the day, above 104. Technically above 103. Damn. It's getting hella spicy. Make sure you guys smash the like button and subscribe. This is a good thing. El spicy, muy spicy-o. No lube, baby. No lube. Nature's Galaxy, both in the Couchlands chats. I had such a good time. I had such a good time chatting in there. I already got my ticket for this year. I'm ready to go. I always have my little trinkets nearby. What did Trump say this time? I wonder if he did just say something. He's probably like, silver is stupid. It's the stupidest. I hate it. I can't see it. It says, I'm a motherfucking headbanger. What? Yeah. This is a movie. Did Trump say something? I never put it past him. I was actually going to say it's been suspiciously quiet from Trump today. Damn, crypto face posting a $650,000 P&L. Having a good idea. Really no surprise silver is at all-time high search for the last 5 years. Who's searching silver in the last 5 years? Nobody. From the last 20 years till present, from 2004 till today, silver has never been this searched. Barely searched at all on YouTube, which is odd. Yeah, weird. Let's see about gold. For some reason, people were searching gold a lot in October of 24, and not at all now, question mark? Google Trends doesn't always make sense to me, especially when it comes to the YouTube ones. Gold also at an all-time search. Gold and silver both at all-time high searches on the internet. What's going on? Something happened. Kanye said something. No one cares. How do people still follow Kanye? Why'd silver fall so much? Didn't fall that much. 7%. I mean, it's still up 7% today. It's giving back about half its gains of the day. Kind of just looks like this, doesn't it? Charts don't only go up. What plutonium surges? No idea. The market is rigged. All markets are rigged. True. I guess Trump didn't say anything. What's up, Real Madrid? How you doing, man? Great team. Wow. Come on, come on, come on. Damn, we've been live like 2 hours already, right? 2 hours. Silver, we've seen the highs, we've seen the lows. Damn. Crazy. Oh, great. This was just playing random songs. We can get 1 million copyright claims. Huzzah. Tomorrow, Trump speaks tentative. They should just have that always on the schedule. Speaking right before the FOMC. Then I'll probably speak during the FOMC. Chair Atkins speaks tomorrow. Chair Selig speaks tomorrow. 10:20 a.m. We'll see. I'll look into those. We'll see if those are interesting. If they're worth watching. We do have the FOMC Wednesday. It's going to be huge, huge news. Huge news. Huge. Huge. Yeah. Yeah. Pump the jam. That's copyrighted. What's up, Foxy? There you are. He only said stuff at 2 a.m. Also true. Bitcoin going to the 200-week moving average. Yeah. Yeah, over time. Over time, almost certainly. Where's that at? I forgot. 58K. You know what's funny actually is we were looking at the bearish scenario. Where did that go? The bear scenario, as some would say. I gotta pee. I gotta pee now. Looking at the bear scenario earlier. And what's interesting is this fractal or bar copied pattern. Actually, it'd be right there. 200 week would be right there. Spooky. RAM still outperforming silver. RAM is the ultimate moon, though. Gold traded lower. Spicy might be on hold. A spice hold. Oh. What's up, Moon Raccoon? Crypto James. Sold most of your silver Saturday, hoping it stopped well, buddy. I mean, it will. It will someday. In my observation, everything tops eventually. It will, in my opinion, certainly trade lower than it is here. Certainly, I think it will trade below 100 in the future. But that could be, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be like this year. It could be, probably is. But in, you know, the bigger picture, very reasonable to expect to see double digits on silver again in the future. 53 back to the previous all-time high would be very clean retest. Like, basically what I'm saying is if you've taken some profits, maybe consider slowing down or stopping, holding, waiting to see what happens. Just so you're not all out. But if you're feeling bad about it, hopefully get a little reprieve, because at some point it's going to be lower. At some point you're going to be able to buy it lower. It's not going to go away forever like these prices. Not my observation, not my opinion. So just position so you're good either way. Silver versus S&P, literally 618 bounce here. Kind of crazy. Silver versus Bitcoin almost. The Dixie. Dollar is so far is doing what we said at the beginning of the episode, hit the trend line and reverse and put downside pressure on metals. Hopefully that would lead to Bitcoin following it. So far kind of has, not the best. Bitcoin hasn't broken out, so I don't think gold and silver are done. I think if they were done, we'd see Bitcoin break out. Adam Turner says short. Short the Bonzi. What's up, OBSY? How you doing, bro? Adam Turner, Amir, CDOS, Curb Shifter, D-Lo. D-Lo's still here. You're my man. Crypto Johnny, Monkey Lemon, Moon, Galaxy, Paul, Prez, Ronald Grunt, Ruffy White, Skate Crow, T-Gang, Pickle, Lions. Yeah, we've been live 2 hours. We caught the spice. I mean, I don't think that gold and silver are done yet. I think silver wants 122. But I think that the move may slow down a little bit here, as we're literally seeing. We've been live for 2 hours. We're going to be live for many hours on Wednesday for the FOMC. You're going to join us for the FOMC. It's going to be a great time. Silver, that might be rebounding right now. Son of a bitch. I have to like go shovel and shit. I have stuff to do. I gotta go get milk. I need milk and salt. I gotta pee, really. That's the biggest thing. It will pump. I feel like it'll pump the minute I turn the stream off. But anyway, we'll be live Wednesday. You'll be here for that. You'll be redirected to that stream when this one's over. Make sure you click notify me, put it on your calendars. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be big. I appreciate you being here with me. We did a lot of great content today. Go back and watch it after the live. It's really valuable stuff in the first half an hour-ish. Highly recommend it. I will catch you guys Wednesday. Crown out.